Good evening and welcome to the English News Bulletin. I trust you had a pleasant day. Let's kick off tonight's bulletin with the latest headlines. The World Bank's report on food security and global rise in market prices indicates that Rwanda is among the countries that experienced a decrease in food prices at the end of 2023 and the beginning of this year. The 17th General Assembly of the Umbrella Association of Genocide Survivors, IWUKA, requested the institutions in charge to address problems that threaten the development of survivors. It is always a pleasure to have your company. My name is Olive Nete. Let's now go to the news in details. President Paul Kagame has arrived in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, where he will participate in the 11th World Government Summit. The gathering will bring together leaders, experts, and senior officials from more than 150 countries to address future trends and shifts on the global level, as well as ways to foster collaboration regionally and globally. On Monday morning, President Kagame will participate in a one-on-one conversation with CNN's news anchor and correspondent Eleni Giokos. To more news, the World Bank's report on food security and the global rise in market prices indicates that Rwanda is among the countries that experienced a decrease in food prices at the end of 2023 and the beginning of this year. This comes as the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning notes that the prices dropped from 21.6% in December 2022 to 6.4% in December 2023. Adam Squizera with more.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzienda Gishimana, affirms that the increase in food prices was attributed to the challenges of the 2022 crop season A and the global rise in prices. The market price were very high to the extent of 21.6% in December 2022 due to the global price hike and the low agriculture production in Rwanda. And now we will say that it has fallen to the percentage of 6.4% in December 2023. Due to that, the global market prices has dropped down, as well as we even had a very productive agriculture season of 2024A. The World Bank's report on food security and the increase in prices on the international market, published on February 1st, 2024, ranks Rwanda among the countries that experienced a decrease in food prices by the end of 2023 and at the beginning of 2024. Alex Rukundo, one of the local vegetable and fruits e-commerce trader, also affirms that the drop down of food prices has brought a significant impact on both farmers and primarily consumers as well. You understand that for those who buy commodities online, what we help them is to provide fresh products from farmers, as well as this benefits farmers, hence to bring quality and quantity products, so this literally helps the farmers to not get a spoiled production. The fall of the international and domestic prices contributed to a 13% increase in the service sector in the first quarter of 2023, followed by a 10% increase in the second quarter and a 9% increase in the third quarter. 6 months into the national budget, which has seen 61% of its allocation utilized, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning knows that the investments have made, particularly in the agriculture sector, provides a hope for stable prices. There were 4,000 tons of crops provided, plus a 45,568 tons of industry fertilizers that were also provided to the local farmers, and there were other 3,506 tons of industrial fertilizers which were allocated in the production of tea and coffee. There were also emerged land equivalent to 107,764 hectares, where some of its spots were allocated to various crops that were cultivated, including maize, rice, beans and potatoes that took a land of 59,000 hectares. This agriculture sector grew by 1% in the first quarter of 2023. In the second quarter, it didn't increase, but in the third quarter, it grew by 3%. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the report. Now to education matters. The audit conducted by Higher Education Council (HEC) on 1,000 individuals who applied for equivalence and the subsequent discovery of forged certificates highlight the importance of a rigorous evaluation process. Adams Kwizera again.
At the headquarters of the Higher Education Council, many people are applying for their certificate equivalence. Manishimwe Domina, who completed her studies at the University of Nigeria in the field of mining, affirms that the process didn't take too long to obtain her certificate.
Yes, I've now got it, though I delayed into starting the process. I would say that it took me too long because of that delay. But after reaching here, I found the process ran smoothly according to the number of applicants. Sometimes what takes long is the number of days it requires the applicant to receive an approval from the university because HEC can't approve documents which are not approved by the university.
On the other hand, there are individuals who have been applying for this equivalence for an extended period but have not yet received it due to missing required documents. One applicant mentioned that they applied for equivalence in 2019.
I applied for an equivalent and they told me that I have first to go for a council, which I completed in 2020 as well as the license that you get after the council. Since the university I went on, they eventually told us that it has closed. What we request is to help us in speeding up the process so that we can use effectively our certificates.
Many people, especially those who have studied at the universities in neighboring countries, they also point this as an issue they faced.
There was this issue found during COVID. Some students applied for equivalence and they were required to show the traveling documents they used during those pandemic days. So the effects of that, it's because today we might have certificates but without equivalence. This can lead people to stay unemployed, or those employed, it may affect their promotion.
The challenges with obtaining certificate equivalence, especially for those who study courses related to medicine and education, are concerning. These individuals often pursue additional education with the aim of enhancing their qualifications for their current employment. The Higher Education Council's cautious approach and the rough inspection are understandable, especially in the light of reports about the individuals attempting to obtain equivalency through fraudulent means. Ensuring the integrity of the process is crucial to maintaining the credibility and the standards of education in Rwanda, as pointed out by the Director General of HEC.
For them, they just provide to us documents and they say that they brought them from schools. Yet it's obvious that they are frauds. We found that some didn't even attend the classes, as we noticed that. That is why we even added up traveling clearances. Then after getting all those documents, that's when we contact the university.
The audit conducted on 1,000 individuals who applied for equivalency and the subsequently discovered of forged certificates highlights the importance of rigorous and evaluation process. Ensuring the authenticity of academic qualifications is vital for maintaining the quality and credibility of education in Rwanda, which led 20 of them to get prosecuted under the charges of the certificates forgery. Dr. Rose Mukangumejes noted on strict checks of 4 individuals claiming to have studied abroad during COVID-19, especially considering closed borders and non-functioning universities, underscores the needs for the rough and reliable evaluation process.
It's very important to send a student at a credible and functioning university, then try to even know how legit is the university and if it is accredited by the government. Secondly, you also have to make a follow-up on your students if they are attending classes, because sometimes they may fail and bring a fake certificate. Then this also requires us to be honest enough.
The figures from the Higher Education Council (HEC) demonstrated that in 2021, 1,761 equivalences were issued, as in 2022, 2,363 were issued, while in 2023, 2,507 certificates were issued, and from January 2024, 322 of them have been issued. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams. Now to more news. The 17th General Assembly of the Umbrella Association of Genocide Survivors, IBUCA, requested the institutions in charge to address problems that threaten the development of survivors, notably an ongoing issue of accommodations. Follow more. During the two-day General Assembly held in Kigali, participants commended the strides made in the journey of unity and resilience among genocide survivors, facilitated by the support of the government of Rwanda. However, they highlighted the need for additional support for vulnerable families and expressed concern over the limited accessibility of certain medical services, which are currently only available at referral university hospitals.
dufata urugero nk'umuntu urwaye diabete cyangwa umuntu urwaye cancer.
For example, people suffering from diabetes or cancer. We do have many survivors with such cases and medication that cannot be found at health centers or health posts, and at times not also at district hospitals. When they get treated at referral hospitals, sometimes they also don't get those medications there, and when not found at all, those places, they ought to find the drugs at private pharmacies, and nowadays there are even few. And at times, those medications are not on the list of allowed medications to be provided at those pharmacies. What we request is that they could facilitate survivors to get health-related services, starting from the health centers, but also to district hospitals, so that they wouldn't be transferred at a later stage when they are gravely ill, and you know that it takes longer to get a transfer to the referral hospital.
IBUCA, the Umbrella Association of Genocide Survivors, urged for the acceleration of the program aimed at providing accommodation for the 5,000 individuals who are in need of shelters.
We are aware of the budget used at every district level, and you find that the number of houses to be constructed every year is very low, and in some places they say it will take 4 years. But what we would like is that it should be carried out as early as possible. But we are aware that it's an issue to be discussed on by various institutions.
The IBUCA General Assembly was attended by representatives of genocide survivors residing on other continents. They emphasized the need to clear and close the backlog of cases left by the Gacaca courts. Additionally, they urged the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement to streamline access to Gacaca documents stored in archives, particularly when they are needed for judicial purposes in the pursuit of justice. Furthermore, they called upon those engaged in the construction and consolidation of genocide memorial sites to proactively prepare a comprehensive study pertaining to the historical context and other symbolic elements that will be incorporated into these memorials. The IBUCA General Assembly urged survivors of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi to maintain closer ties to their native lands and to utilize them productively. Additionally, special assistance should be provided to those survivors who are living far from their native areas. To other matters, residents of Nyarugenge sector in Bugesera district, particularly those who have benefited from the support provided by the Shelter Them Foundation backed by Rwandan women twins residing in Canada, attest that the infrastructure they have received has significantly uplifted them from their previous state of poverty. We have more in the story. Initiatives undertaken by the Shelter Them Foundation, supported by twin sisters in the Bugesera district, is the establishment of early childhood development centers catering to children from low-income families. With over 100 children enrolled, these centers not only address malnutrition concerns, but also provide educational opportunities. It is reported that the knowledge imparted at these centers equips the children to sustain their learning momentum even as they progress through high school.
Many of them join us with symptoms of malnutrition. We take care of them, and they study from nursery to middle class, and then to top class. Thereafter, they go to public schools, and they excel among others due to the exposure they get here.
Additionally, the Shelter Them Foundation has extended support to other young individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds, enabling them to realize their aspirations of pursuing higher education at university. I didn't have hope to continue my university studies, but after being part of Shelter Them, I was able to study, and now I have hope of the The Shelter Them Foundation also provides support by offering shelter to those in need who previously lacked adequate housing. Beneficiaries of these houses report significant improvements in their living conditions, stating that they no longer endure the hardships they once faced.
Bamaze kunyubakira hano mu Bugesera kuko nari naravuye ubundi mu cyaro.
After providing me shelter here in Bugesera, they assisted me greatly. I'm now a farmer and I don't need to buy beans since I cultivate them. I don't need to buy maize flour since I get it from the maize plant and harvest, and I also get cassava flour. I also have livestock. I have goats and hens, and me and my children were able to get eggs. Truly, my life has changed.
Musabyimana Valentine is the president of Tubehoneza Cooperative, which works on maize farming on more than 2.5 hectares given to them by Shelter Them. Its members are content of their current development. They helped us and provided us a plot for farming, and before that, they joined us in groups, and after that, we became a cooperative. Some of the families among us used to be assisted in various activities such as being provided food and also insurance for their children. And now through the cooperative, we farm and get maize, beans and more. We don't have any problem. The twin sisters gained recognition in 2013 at Rwanda Day in Toronto, Canada, when they were gifted a plot in Bugesera. At a recent Rwanda Day event in Washington, D.C., they expressed gratitude to the head of state for the opportunity. They now advocate for other Rwandans in the diaspora to contribute to their country's development. Last time we needed a plot for construction so as to construct homes for residents and also schools. In 2013, you told us that it was easy to get that, and you pointed out that we should consult RDB, and you provided the plot to us.
So let me challenge you.
As the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame does on behalf of the government, let us do it as a community and not leave it to the government only. In 2014, President Paul Kagame granted the twin sisters a plot in Ruhuha Cell, Nyarugenge Sector, Bugesera District. They utilized the land to construct a school for children in need. Through Shelter Them Matarure, they annually send over 200,000 Canadian dollars to Rwanda, amounting to more than 190 million Rwandan francs. And on behalf of all the team, thank you for joining us for today's news. Wishing you a wonderful and fruitful week ahead. Take care, and until next time, goodbye.